Greetings, everyone. I am here with Fortnite, which has been out just a week now. The zombie survival action builder from Epic. Really cool hybrid. And there are a lot of systems going on play here. Like, there is a metric ton of stuff. And not all of it is especially intuitive. So I put out some requests and got a few questions that people would like to see covered, perhaps explained in a little bit more detail. And you can find links to the points in the video in the description here. So, without further ado, first things first is the inventory. This has caused some consternation because players are saying they don't have enough or they don't know how to expand it. And I haven't had a lot of trouble with it, but I also am very familiar with management games, like Neverwinter Nights was a good one. So, there's three inventories that you have available to you. There is the armory, which is what you see here, all of your stuff, the backpack, which is all of your gear in a mission, and finally your storm shield or your vault. Now, your armory, this is the big one. This is what holds all of your schematics, all of your blueprints for your cool weapons and traps, your heroes that you send out, defenders, survivors, not resources. That does not count, thankfully, but schematics, heroes, defenders, survivors, all of that goes into your inventory here. And to the best of my knowledge, right now there is currently no way to expand your armory inventory. I expect that when monetized transactions come into play, that's something you'll be able to do, but for the time being, your armory is limited to however many slots you get from your edition. I think it's the base is 200, and then the various editions go a little bit higher. So I got like the next one up. And yeah, that's it. Everything that you can craft or use in game, you can find in your armory here, and all of them will tell you how much inventory space that you are using, as well as the XP that you have when relevant. So that's kind of cool. Alright, we are in mission, my first base, and the next two inventories that you have available are the backpack and the storm shield. Now, unlike the armory, those two inventories can be increased using the skill and tech trees, just normal progression. So I'm going to tap my hotkey and bring up my inventory, my backpack. As you can see, I've put a few points into that and I've expanded it. But even when you're starting out, I didn't actually find it that hard to manage. It would help if we had a loot filter, so that I'm not picking up extra stacks of things, but I'm hoping that's a feature that they're doing. So, your backpack includes all of your weapons, all of your melee weapons, does not include ammo. So you can see here I've got 63 to 75. If I want to drop all of these power cells, I still have 63 to 75. So ammo is free as far as storage goes. And you've got all of your traps that you actually have available. Schematics do not count. These are what you have in your armory, and these are just your blueprints that you can build. It's only the physical buildings that you have which take up your backpack space. And finally, you've got crafting materials, and this is where I suspect a lot of people started hitting the cap on their inventory in the early game. And before you can expand it, it does take a bit of management. So right now, I've got some extras of basic materials, and farming them is pretty easy. You can loot just about everything in the game. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and drop these. I only need 2 stacks of planks. I don't really need this extra resin. And I might even get rid of this extra mineral powder. We'll see. But I'm good for the time being. A couple more missions I might have to do some serious resorting or crafting. But that's that. And when I leave, that'll be gone. But that's basically the best way to manage your inventory in the early game, as well as crafting bullets. You can see those take up resources, so that's perhaps a good way to use up some crafting materials. You can never have too many traps, just like throw them down, set them and forget them. So that's that for the backpack, and again, that is upgraded through I think both the skill and the tech tree. I'll have to look. Next is your vault, which is at your storm shield. So I go to my console here, storage up at the top left here. And this is just like a little extra something. I like to think of it as where I keep my most valuable loot. So I've got some extra ores here for all of my crafting, some fancy traps that I won, just one-shots, active power cells for when I get energy weapons later, you know, better mechanical parts. I keep my spare rocket launcher here because that's just fun to say. And that's all there is to it. As far as the vault, now the vault I know is only increased through the tech tree, whereas the backpack I think uses both the skill tree and the tech tree, but I'll have to look. I know it's the skill tree at least. So yeah, I can like move stuff around. So the interface is kind of wonky right now. So there's like switch panel, you can see what's highlighted, and if I wanted to say like withdraw this, then come over here and could try to click it here. And you can see that it's not actually taking right now. Items do not currently stack between, or I should say they do, but they don't like easily. So in order to make this work, I'm just going to transfer it all, switch panel, and then transfer it back. And now I've got my full stack, and especially for quest rewards like bacon and nuts and bolts and simple mechanical parts, you might see in your backpack that they take up 2 separate slots, when in fact they shouldn't. They do stack. You may just have to like drop them and pick them up to get them to combine again. So yeah, that's it for inventory. You know, just if you find yourself running out of space, I recommend 1, using your vault, 2, look at your crafting materials and figure out just how many stacks of something that you need. Like, especially if you're in the early game, then you'll probably only be getting 1 stack of mineral powder. If you find yourself with 20 extra after a mission, consider dropping it and like making yourself a new sword or something. So yeah, that's the inventory. Alright, the next subject that we're going to be covering is a request on the official forums, Mr. Frenchy117, and he was wondering how all of the level versus power versus evolving items work, collections and retirements and so forth. And I don't blame him, there's a lot going on here. So let's dive into it. First, we're going to deal with your commander level versus your home base power. Now, your commander level doesn't actually have a level, it's just what your experience points rating is at. So I'm at 26.7 right now, and the XP that you gain is, so you got boosts here, and you just use that to buy all of your skills. And this has a marginal increase on your power level, not like terribly significant. It doesn't factor into the listed power level here, but does in fact make a very big difference, because you just get all kinds of bonuses like plus tech, hardware attacks, repair and building, there's plus hit points. So the skills you choose definitely factor in, but it's not like the biggest factor. The biggest thing that contributes to your listed home base power, there are 2. First are your heroes. As you level up an individual hero, they gain all of the stats here. As you add and level up 2 other heroes, you gain some of their stats as well as whatever their support bonuses are. And that contributes to your stat menu that you see here, health and shield. The biggest contributor by far is survivor squads. And these are not to be confused with defenders. The survivor squads are the special high skill people that you find in missions. And let's look. Right now, I've got a home base power of just over 15, a little halfway into the first bar. So I'm at my EMT squad here, and I'm not even going to try and deal with personality or job matching or special bonuses. I'm just going to use them as stat sticks. So I'm just going to drop them in. So I've got about 1,800 hit points, almost 1,100 shield. So let's see what happens when I start powering up my squads, when I start adding teams. You can see that we are in the emergency medical technician squad, and that is increasing my fortitude, which is my hit points. Alright, so I just gained a massive chunk of health there. Fire Team Alpha offense. This is straight up damage that you deal with weapons, I might add. Damage dealt by traps is something else entirely. Your offense stat is damage dealt by you specifically. I'm just going to put you in there. And again, I'm not even bothering trying to match personalities or bonuses, although I did wind up with a nice shield bonus there, extra 5%, so that's cool. Corps of Engineering, let's up our tech a bit. Just going to drop you in. I'm going to use my Legendary Survivor, get myself some crazy trap damage. And I think that's everyone. So you can see now I've got a home base power of just over 18, effectively 3 power levels gained, and that's not just numbered. I got the stats to back it up. I have close to doubled all of my stats and made a very healthy increase in my hit points and shield. So that is leveling versus home base power. You're leveling your XP, that's just skill points, standard progression, whereas your home base power reflects your actual stats in mission. And you get that by having stronger heroes, evolving your heroes, and working with your survivor squads. And as you can see, there are a lot of survivor squads here. These are all unlocked through the skill point tree, and there's just a crazy amount of stuff. You can match personalities, you can have a job match for like the scouting party, then each of them has other bonuses like shield bonus, ability bonus, personality match, so this is like a little sub game unto itself. But if you don't want to mess with that, then just go with the highest numbers. Maybe do one of the simple matches like shield or hit points. And that is how you crank up your home base power and, in turn, your stats to let you survive the harder missions. Alright, the next thing we're going to talk about, as requested on the forum, is specifically for heroes. Well, I guess it'd be for heroes and items. That is, evolving versus leveling, and collecting versus retiring or recycling. So for both heroes and your gear, leveling is exactly what it says on the tin. So I'm going to take my hero here. I've got all my nice hotkeys, so I'm just going to tap that. And he only goes up to level 18, unfortunately, because he is just a blue rarity hero. The higher rarity ones can, I think, go up to 30. So you do get some benefit there. But I've got my XP, so if I want to level him up, then he gains all of these modifiers here. And this is separate from the stats that we saw earlier. So this adds on to it. So I've got extra health here, his shield here, shield regen, and then these other items which you wouldn't see boosted by the survivor squads. So, yeah, that's leveling. Pretty straightforward. Evolving is a special feature, and that is to use that to unlock the next set of levels. I believe it goes to every 10. So when I hit level 10, I had to evolve him, and then I had access to levels 15 through 20. And it's the same with your schematics here. you can see that I've leveled my retractable floor spikes, rare schematic, and being rarity, it only has 3 marks of upgrade, so put level 10 into that, got some reload speed, whereas higher range, this can go up to level 20, and then the legendaries go up to level 30. So that's it. Leveling is just XP, straight up stat gains. Evolving is what you use to unlock the next set of levels. You can't just go like straight from 1 to 20 to have these open. I had to evolve the weapon, make it a silver. So that's that. Now, collection and retiring and recycling. So let's pick something I'm not using right now. So I've got this old healing pad, common, not using it. Oh, that's right. The basic items you can't get rid of. These are going to be stuck in your armory just in case you somehow manage to completely run out of stuff. So that's actually kind of nice of them, I think. So let's say I've got my green uncommon wooden floor spikes. Not using those. And I want to recycle them. I can select multiple items even. So it tells me here the schematic XP that I'd be getting. Recycling higher tier items actually gets you special evolving materials. So yeah, so you don't necessarily have to keep every single rare item you get. You're going to be getting a lot of them. And goes doubly for heroes as well. But for the time being, I am just going to recycle this and get a little bit of extra experience points for it. Now, heroes. This is interesting. So, heroes, recycling them works the same way. It's the same hotkey. They just call it retire. So, if, for example, I wanted to retire Survival as Jonesy here, then I would get a special evolving item, the training manual, and a chunk of hero XP. So yeah, it's really just that simple. You recycle or rather retire a hero if you have duplicates or you found a better one and or don't want to put it in your collection book. Which leads us to the collection book, or rather the scrapbook, as I like to say. And I love that you can see like upcoming rewards info. That's just super cool. And this gives you all kinds of crazy rewards, everything from llamas to rare schematics to I've got some skill points coming up. And when you put an item in your scrapbook, it takes away the schematic, not the physical item in question. So let's take a look at yeah, like this copper short blade. If I didn't have this in my scrapbook already and I wanted to put it there, it would take away this schematic. I would not be able to build it anymore. So if I wanted a few of these, I would have to, or rather I'd want to, craft a few in-game, just have them available, and then I could put it in my scrapbook. Now, some people say only do it when you have duplicates, some are in between. Personally, I'm of the belief that you should scrapbook early and often, because this game is massive. I'll give you a look at the quest line in just a second. There's just a metric ton of stuff, so you're not going to be hard-pressed to find something that you scrapbooked again. Like you can see, I've been putting in all of my survivors as I get them, basically. And I'm still doing pretty good on the survive account, bringing my power from 15 to 18 that you may have seen earlier. So, yeah, now I should mention, oh, here we go. So I've already got a bunch of wall darts. I really don't need any more. So I'm actually going to slot this item into it, permanently slot this item. Alright, I can no longer craft this rare wall darts, but I'd be surprised if I don't get another schematic for that or better within the weekend. Now I should mention, there is one thing about the scrapbook that I really, really don't like, and that is, for reasons unknown to me, you can actually upgrade items within the scrapbook, like put in new ones. So you can see here, I've got my rare floor spikes, which I slotted within the first couple of days. Got a good find on the schematic. I recently found another one with stats that I want, and so I leveled it up. I have a more powerful floor spikes, and now it's prompting me to slot that item again to to put into the scrapbook again, simply because it's a better version, and I really don't like that. So just a word of caution: be careful with that. When you see you've got a new item available here, make sure that you look at it, make sure it's not one of your upgraded items, or if it's got the dotted outline that you saw before, that you're actually okay with getting rid of it, or maybe you crafted a bunch before you did. You've got all categories of weapons here, and the scrapbook is just a nice way to keep the loot cycle going and give you some really good rewards while you're doing it. Alright, last thing I'm going to be covering in this video are some tips and tricks to make your progress in fighting the storm just a little bit easier. The first thing that I'm going to recommend you do, if you haven't already, is go up to your main menu here, go to your settings, a bit of lag there, and then go over to your input and just review the controls, because there's a lot to consider here. You've got your abilities, your building edits, your building materials, excuse me, printing and the trap picker, and just all of this stuff. So definitely get yourself comfortable with your hotkeys. If you've got a programmable mouse, or you've got some extra buttons, like I've got 5 or 6 on mine, you can put those in and just make things easy for yourself. Once it gets into muscle memory, it won't be so bad, but you should have enough hotkeys that you will never be reaching or scrambling for anything important. In the middle of a fight, you should be able to throw up an emergency building once you get the hang of it. So the next thing is how to choose your primary hero. And it depends as much on playstyle as everything. Some of them do have advantages over others. Constructors have good building, soldiers have good all-around combat, pathfinders have, I think, like sniping and loot finding, and ninjas with Dragon Slash will just wreck entire waves on their own. Now, not every hero within a given class is the same. They have different abilities. And aside from looking at a Wikipedia, there is another way that you can find that. And for that, we're actually going over to the Armory, the collection book, and here you can view all of the different heroes that you have available. So, let's look at my Rescue Trooper Ramirez here, and I'm just going to view her in the collection book. And I can see all of the abilities that she will have as she levels up. Now what's cool is that I can look at heroes that I don't have. I can look at the legendary Ramirez preview item, and I can see that she actually goes up to level 30, and she gets this extra damage resistance and ammo capacity, which is super cool. I can do the same for the other soldiers to see what their abilities are. Excuse me, yeah. So, let's look at the Legendary Special Forces Banshee. And they do, classes do share abilities, like I think all soldiers get advanced tactics, all constructors get the base upgrade. And she gets debilitating shots, which is something that Ramirez didn't have. She gets War Cry, again, a new ability, so some nice team buffs there. And at the very bottom, it gives you a very concise summary of what that character's specialties are. Assault Rifle Specialist, who buffs with the War Cry skill. Let's look at the Centurion here. What does she do? So she's got War Cry, Tactics, Debilitating, an extra debilitating shot, Lingering Pain, uses basically a buffer-debuffer soldier. So that is the best way that I recommend you pick your hero. Play them all, get a feel for the style, and then you can look through and see, well, what are you working towards? If you get that rare constructor or that rare ninja, then you could look at their abilities here and see if maybe you want to keep them around or just put them in your scrapbook. So yeah, that's a good way to pick your hero, as well as be familiar with the abilities of the other heroes when you're teaming up with players in a public game. The next trick is an easy way to actually build up your crafting materials. You'll get them throughout the course of playing, but there are some ways where you can farm them quickly. So, first is I'm going to go to the map here, and when you look at the map, in the top left, you can see it tells you like what region uh, that part of the map is in. So I've got the city, I've got the suburbs, the industrial park, a forest, more forest. Yeah. So if you are looking for just straight up ammunition and crafting parts and other stuff, I recommend that you pick a mission in the city. So I'm going to select that. Loading. Whoops. And I'm actually going to abandon that mission, and I will tell you why in a second. When you are going on just a straight looting mission, please be courteous and go up to your main menu here and set the access level of your game to private or even friends only. If you're playing with people, nothing is more annoying than someone who hops into one of the big resource-heavy city missions and just starts tearing down everything and completely ignores the objective. Don't be that guy. Be a team player. If you're going to go resource farming, make it a private game or make it a game with friends. So, I will now go back to the city. Mission for resource farming, I recommend you get yourself an Outlander or a Ninja. Ninja has also really good mobility and a double jump. Outlander can dash, and leveling up further has abilities that highlight especially high-level loot containers, which you will see in a moment. Loading. Might actually cut this out. Alright, here we are in mission, and I want to do a bit of resource farming, so I'm full on everything except bricks. But let's say I want to get myself some more crafting materials. Unfortunately, that survivor is going to die. The best way, or rather the quickest way to do that in a city, is to be looking for chests and special containers, and in true RPG fashion, you want to look at the very tops and bottoms of the world. So I've got this building here. I'm just going to make myself a ramp. Take a look, and let's see what we've got going on here. Oh man. Possibly get myself a drink. So, you can see here, this is a special Outlander ability. When you've done enough harvesting after a few seconds, you get outlines of corresponding rarity for valuable containers. So we can see here, that gave me a blue gas trap, bunch of batteries, got another thing here, copper ore, resin, got this toolkit here, some more stuff, and the quality of the items will change as you get through higher level areas. So this is Stonewood, the next region is Plankerton, and in Plankerton I might find like silver ore or advanced batteries and things of that nature. So I'm just taking everything here. Eventually you'll learn to recognize valuable containers and ammo boxes and so forth, but leveling an Outlander a bit is a good way to help with that as well. Oop, what do we got up here? This is an ammunition box, this little stack of 3. It is always an ammunition box. So I got everything except power cells there, which is pretty cool. We got another one. But yeah, I'm getting carried away with the looting. This game does that to you. So you get the idea there. And I'm going to go back up here, and I want to continue rooftop hopping. So I'm actually going to switch to my building mode and just keep going. See if we can find a chest or something good up here. Anything? Ah, hey, look at that. Whoop. This oblong crate, this is another good one. This is ammo and supplies and all sorts of stuff. Sure, go like that. Just take this chest here, and even if you don't have the loot finder ability that on the Outlander yet, you'll learn to recognize containers. Those metal boxes, the red toolkits, both standing and laid out. So got a freaking huge ammo box here. So got some more stuff, and cars are of course always a good source of metal, as well as nuts and bolts. Nuts and bolts is one of those things that you may start tossing once you have like 2 stacks in the early game, but in the later game, when you're burning through upwards of 1,000 bullets in a mission, then you'll be taking apart all of the cars that you can find. So that's the gist of it for quick harvesting. You want to go rooftop hopping, look at basements when you can find them. There aren't any basements here, but you may find those in shacks in suburbs or in forest areas, like little sheds. So let's see if I can find a basement here real quick. Is there a basement under here? There might not be. There is not, which is fine. But yeah, that's well, once you know what containers to look for, then you will never be hard up of crafting materials, especially for toolboxes and ammo kits and other especially large containers. And you can see here, I almost never have to craft bullets anymore. It's very rare. I mean, I still do, but I get a good chunk of it from my harvesting. And once again, if you're going resource farming, please be considerate and set your match to a solo game in the settings menu. Don't show up in a pub and just start tearing apart everything and ignoring the objective, because people hate that and it's just not fun for anybody. And yeah, you can do just as much on your own as you could with a group. We can see stuff gets hidden here. This is another one of these red toolkits. So look behind stairs, behind corners, and just tear apart the world, because you can do that, and it's a lot of fun. See, I got an item behind the stairs here. Is there a basement here? What are you? Oh, I see. So hidden in this corner, in this 3-way corner between the former wall and these 2 hedges, is another ammo kit. I got everything on that one. So yeah, harvesting I think is a reward unto itself, and that's not to say that you can't take a little time off for collection in a regular mission. Just be considerate of your teammates. You don't have to go hardcore objective, but nor should you completely ignore what the team is trying to do either. So strike a balance and learn to look for the little corners, all the little things, and you will find yourself with resources aplenty. So that does it for our basic overview. I hope you found some useful information here to help you really get into the heart of the game. If there's anything in particular that you want to know wasn't covered here, or just want to see in more detail, drop me a line, leave a comment, or even post on the official forums, because there's a lot of good discussion going on there. So, once again, I'm keeping some good info here, and thanks for watching. See you at the next storm.